Hi folks, welcome to another episode of CB Rebuilds. Today we're going to be stealing the dash out of our donor front end here. So the dash that we have in the Jeep got damaged right here and right here. This panel got ruined and the bar behind it in the accident that our silver Jeep sustained. So we're going to be taking this whole dash apart. This is a good tutorial if you're looking to just change out the radio, or if you have a collision and you want to do the airbag yourself. You can buy the parts pretty easily and switch them. This will be a pretty general way to take this apart, so you can see how it comes apart as you're going through, and maybe pick up some pointers. Most of the tools you're going to need are a 13 millimeter to take the airbag out. 7 millimeters take pretty much all of the dash apart, and 8 millimeters what I need to take this bar out right here, the crash bar out. So I'm going to be employing the help of my wife, so you'll see her in the video, but we're going to both get on this and get this taken apart pretty quickly. So one of the things that you need to remove to get the passenger side out and the airbag is this this trim piece right here. It says since 1941. If you just have a trim removal tool, get right behind it and pop it off, because there's two bolts that hold the grab bar on that we need to get to. So you get that out, and then I believe those are 8 millimeter. So after you get your tools, just just as a friendly thing, you just throw this back over it, and then you don't have to worry about losing your bolts for that. So now we've got the grab bar out. The next thing to kind of remove is the glove box, and in case you're not familiar, you just need to squeeze on the side to bring these pins in so you can get by it. So we got the glove box out. Looks like it's the build sheet for the Jeep that we're getting here for the parts are from. It's kind of neat. So I got just a 7 millimeter on my pistol tool here. I'm just going to remove the latch for the glove box. And the last big thing here to kind of remove this part, well, it's two things, is to remove the vents. So if you're not familiar with the Jeep vents, you just put your hands in there and you give it a little twist. Of course it's going to make a lighter out of it. You just give it a little, come on. Give it a little twist and then they come out. There's these little tabs here that lock it on, but just get a good bite on them and just kind of give them a twist and they come on and unlock. So we're going to pop out the bolts here for the airbag. Now you got the right size. One on each side of the glove box opening. And then there's one more. So the one more is kind of up here in the middle. If you don't really look at the vent too much, you may not notice it, but there's a little insert in there, and that gives you access to a 13 millimeter that you need to take out to get that out. That one doesn't have to come out too far. It doesn't have to come all the way out. But run your tool out. And to get this pad coming loose, you kind of just grab onto it and start kind of unclipping it. So you can get that all unclipped, and if you really want to avoid doing the center stack, you can just pull it out without that. And then you just squeeze the little clips on the side of the airbag inflator. Get that off. There we go. So you get the airbag inflator. They clip on here. We got the primary and secondary. I believe is how it works. So now we've got the airbag out with our blown dash, so we can put that into our Jeep that we need to rebuild. So if you're keeping track, here's where your two 10 millimeters were, and your 13 millimeter lines up on that. So the airbag does float inside that piece of trim, but we've got that free now. I suppose if you're having a problem with your compass, this is a compass module, at least it says compass module. You would maybe have to go this far if you had to replace that module. If you want to do it yourself, probably save some money at the dealership charges, and it's not very difficult to get to. Again, it's just held in with a clip, and that's your whole compass module right there. If you're changing out your radio, after you take the air vents loose, you just kind of pull up on it, kind of get the clip started. There is one clip here in the middle of the stash tray. It's a 7 millimeter. Pop that out. Now you can kind of get that all coming out together. I guess this one came loose or was already broken, but there's two little screws here. Let's get those out. You get that all out. Now you've got the bezel for the gauges and the radio out. You wouldn't have to remove the vents if you didn't want to. They come out on these pieces, but I like to have them out, because then if you have to slide them around these tubes, you don't have to fight that. The last big piece, the last couple pieces we need to take out to get the rest of this going is we need to take out the AC control and the hazard lights, and the descent control and traction control buttons are all right here. The yard we got them from didn't put them back in after they took it out. I think they took the radio out, but you want to unhook your accessory, lighter, your controls for your heater, and then your buttons here for the hazards and stuff. And the last piece of trim that comes out is this stash, pocket right here. So we get that out. That gives you access to these last two bolts that are down here. They're kind of a trick if you don't know to look for them. So with that, now there's about, I don't know, I can count them. There's probably about 27 millimeter screws to take out. So go ahead and put them in, take them out. EP19 as I count it. So if we got her all out, the only thing we have to do yet is a couple of wire harnesses, the little clips for them. So we'll go ahead and pop those loose too. There's another one in here for the speaker. We're going to see, since we don't have a windshield on, if we can just pop it from the behind when we pull forward here. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this out. There's another one. 20. There's number 20. Sensor right here in the middle. I believe that's your daylight sensor for your dash lights, and then we've got two wires here that go in for the speakers. Tricky. I have to use my clip puller to start the clips. Got that one loose. So with that, got the whole dash out. Doesn't take terribly long. There's going to be some other components here that we'll save for later, and we may need these audio connectors. We'll see, just because our Jeep has a little different, or had a different style of speaker. But that's how you remove your dash pad frame. We're also going to take the speaker and this bar out as well right now, but you don't have to do that if you're just changing out the dash pad. If you wanted to change colors of your interior, where we stopped is pretty much where you'd have to stop, but we're going to keep going. So to get a speaker out, I guess if you're doing an audio upgrade, there's two 7mm that are like a yellow zinc color, so they're a little bit different color. I'll put those right back. And then there's a 10mm right here to take out. Get that out, you can just kind of push the speaker forward and unhook it. So now we've got our speaker that we need for our Jeep, because whoever was not wearing their seatbelt basically busted this speaker out, and they bent this bar. So we're just going to grab these, since we've got a fresh set, and we'll put them on our Jeep. So get this bar out. Once that ours is bent, I'm just going to go right here to where it mounts. Twist it out. That's how you remove that bottom brace. So those are all the components that you basically have to remove. To get out this bracket that we need. But if you're just doing, like I said, audio, you don't even have to take this bracket out. You just take these two 7mm and the 10mm that runs through this bar. There's obviously one over there too. And that's it to actually get the speakers out if you're trying to do an upgrade. All right, folks, that brings an end to this episode of CB Rebuilds. Just as a quick tutorial, to remove your dash panel and the dash frame if you'd like. get the airbag out, even how to change the speakers out if you need to do that. You probably need to go this far to get the speakers out easily. It's not too difficult, just something if you spend a little time doing, you can do. If you enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing. We have more Jeep content all the time. And thanks for watching.